Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Our big focus on the broadcast. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a high-profile diplomatic tour to France and the US from 10th of February. Yes, President of France, Emmanuel Macron, is all set to roll out the red carpet for PM Modi. PM Modi has been invited to co-chair the AI Action Summit in Paris. This summit aims to promote an ethical and inclusive approach to artificial intelligence. Additionally, the two leaders shall also hold a bilateral meet to discuss defense, space and civil nuclear cooperation. But that's not all. Building on the close bonhomie shared, Macron will also host a special dinner at the Élysée Palace. This will be attended by CEOs from the tech sector and other distinguished guests. Following the conclusion of this schedule in France, Prime Minister Modi will then head to Washington, D.C. US President Donald Trump shall host the Prime Minister at the White House. Bilateral discussions are likely to focus on enhancing trade between India and the US. Both sides also expect to continue cooperation on critical technologies. The US in particular is seeking greater military interoperability with India's armed forces. Also on the agenda is curbing illegal immigration to the US. India is aiming to avoid Trump's tariff threats as well. Joining us live at this point is Ambassador Bhashwati Mukherjee, former diplomat. We also have Major SP Asthana, strategic analyst, live with us. So Robinder Sachdev, international affairs expert, is also joining us live. Professor Madhav Nalapat, editorial director of the Sunday Guardian, is also with us now live on the broadcast. Professor Nalapat, let me begin with you first. Two big visits by the Prime Minister lined up this coming week. One to France, very crucial, important summit there. And the second to the United States of America. What all will be on the agenda for these two visits by Prime Minister Modi, and what are you keeping your eye on?
Well, look, so far as France is concerned, I think the AI summit is a very, very globally significant. AI is going to do what, frankly, the internet did in the past. Absolutely revolutionary and transformative. Today, the internet is so much a part of our everyday lives. And when it was first introduced decades ago, people were hesitant about it. They were talking uneasily about it. And then they took to it wonderfully, seeing the benefits of the internet. And the same way, I think, people are going to, as of now, people are studying AI, what's going on. There's a little bit of trepidation. But the fact is that as far as India is concerned, we have a huge number of young people. They're eager to learn. And frankly, AI can be a transformative tool in empowering education, in ensuring that learning processes get speeded up and diversified in medicine, in aquaculture, in agriculture. In every field, you have the internet. And in every field, in about 5-6 years' time, you're going to have AI in India. So that is the future. And the Prime Minister, together with Vice President Vance, who's playing a very, very key role in the Trump administration, a very, very key role. He's an activist Vice President. Trump has been smart. He's utilizing him fully in a way that Biden never did Kamala Harris. So, and the meeting with Macron, of course, France is a member of the P5. It's an important European country, and definitely they'll be exchanging views on Ukraine. But the overriding emphasis is going to be on trade and technology. And I think, transformative technology and transforming trade relations, especially between India and the US. This first meeting with President Trump in his second term is very, very important. He knows the Prime Minister very well. They're old friends. And I'm quite certain that this time also, both bilaterally and multilaterally, they'll have a lot to discuss. And if I may say so, I'm expecting a huge basket of outcomes from this meeting. Again, security will be there. Technology is going to be there. Trade is going to be there. All these are going to be very important parts of the basket. And I think these are two extremely important visits, one for the AI conference and the other because the first meeting of President Trump in his second term with Prime Minister Modi, an essential partner to the United States for security in the Indo-Pacific and also in harnessing the full power of artificial intelligence. Thank you, Uday.
Absolutely. Let me, in fact, quickly also take that straight across to Ambassador Bhashwati Mukherjee. Ambassador Mukherjee, because these are very crucial visits, of course, lined up this week for Prime Minister Modi. What do you believe is likely to stand out in France? Is this summit, of course, important for India in our futuristic outlook? Of course, as we look towards capitalizing AI for our economy as well. Also, the first meeting between Donald Trump and Narendra Modi in this Trump 2.0 tenure is also going to be happening this coming week. Your perspective, your thoughts on these upcoming bilateral visits?
Thank you, Uday. As far as the visit to France is concerned, it's of great significance that our Prime Minister has been requested to co-chair the Summit on Artificial Intelligence, thereby demonstrating that the West wants and respects India's expertise on AI and regards India as a very important partner as AI gradually transforms once again the world as we know it, and it has to be conducted in a responsible manner. France and India are responsible countries. We don't want misuse of AI. So the summit is extremely important, just like many years ago we suggested to the French the International Solar Alliance, for example. So these are crucial. On top of that, Prime Minister is also going to go to south of France, where he is going to pay tribute to the fallen soldiers of World War I. Let's not forget that the West won the war because of the British Indian Army, and we have graves of Indian soldiers across Europe and Arab countries and in many other places. India needs to also remember our fallen heroes who fought for the empire. We were under colonial rule at that time, and we fought very bravely, and we changed the tide for the West. As far as visit to US is concerned, if I'm not mistaken, it would be the second important leader President Trump would be meeting after Netanyahu. That shows how far the India-US relationship has traveled, and that shows also the high comfort level that President Trump has with our Prime Minister, because it was during the course of a telephone call that President Trump, who in many ways does not stick to diplomatic protocol, he just announced that Prime Minister Modi will be visiting very shortly, and that's how the dates were set up. This visit again is very important because it will give an opportunity for Prime Minister Modi to outline our strategic imperatives in the Indo-Pacific with regard to China, with regard to the new threats that have emerged on our eastern border, with regard to Bangladesh, with regard to Mohammed Yunus, and the threat to our entire eastern border, the northeast, and the Siliguri corridor, the chicken's neck as it's called. It would also give an opportunity to discuss quietly a better way perhaps of sending back undocumented Indians. I personally do not like the word aliens, which President Trump has introduced. In my opinion, it strips them of their human dignity. They're not aliens. They are illegal immigrants who may have gone there for various reasons. If they are Indians, we will take them back, but it would be much better if the next lot that come in a civilian aircraft, and the kind of publicity that was given to the first lot, in my opinion, there, if it continues over a certain period of time, let's say 6 months, it will damage the very favorable perception of the Indian public towards the India-US relationship. That is something that can't be said in public. It needs to be said in private, and some arrangement has to be made out so that, like in the past, we take them back, but we take them back without so much of fanfare, military aircraft, shackles, etc. That's an important issue. But more than that, we also need to discuss the whole issue of tariffs, trade, the importance of the Indian economy growing, because if the global economy goes into recession because of tariffs imposed by the United States, the entire economic future of India will be jeopardized, and so will also America's economic future. So these are important issues, and it shows that President Trump, after meeting President Netanyahu, with all the discussions that happened with regard to the Gaza Strip, which should be discussed in a different program, we would be discussing very different things. We would also discuss Ukraine, and I'm sure that if we ask our Prime Minister about our views on how to handle the Gaza Strip issue, I'm sure that President Trump would benefit, because we have a very, very long history with Arabs, with Palestinians, and with Israel, a very, very strong strategic partnership. And because of the fact that India has fought in Arab lands from World War I onwards, we have a very special relationship with the Arabs, and we have a very special relationship with Israel, which puts us in an excellent position to be able to navigate a way out of this very tricky situation which is developing on the Gaza Strip, apart from finding a solution to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Uday.
Okay, let me also quickly get back in Major Asthana as well. Major Asthana, AI, space, defense, this all will be on the agenda, of course, for Prime Minister Modi in France. What do you believe will be the Indian outlook towards this summit? Also, as far as, of course, this much talked about and much anticipated visit by Prime Minister Modi to the US is concerned, what are you hoping for will be the outcome?
Firstly, in addition to what has been said, as far as the AI visit is concerned, or AI summit is concerned, which he is going to co-chair, we know in the recent past, after DeepSeek was unleashed, the kind of the risks which emerged after that, I think this summit becomes important. He is co-chairing it, is one part of it. There are 5 themes of this summit regarding AI. But the most important thing which I will pick upon is the global governance of artificial intelligence. France is looking at some kind of AI foundation which should be able to negotiate with the countries who are handling AI in some manner or the other. Because as of now, there are hardly any rules which are needed. Yes, it is a very good technology. It is a technology which is transformative. But then it has got some risks attached which need to be taken care of. So I think that would be a good discussion. And India is the 4th country named in a manner of the AI expertise after the US and China and one more country. So the question is, I think the relevance of India being there is important, and others are also attending, whether it is Chinese deputy chief as well as the American Vice President. Now coming on to other issues, as far as France is concerned, we should also be looking at the Rafale maintenance and certain deals which were stuck. We need 26 Rafales for our aircraft carrier. That's a big deal. And we also needed the maintenance, repair and overhaul agreement, MROs for the Rafales, because Rafales have been sold in some other countries also which are nearer India. And if we have this facility jointly developed with some kind of transfer of technology in India, that would perhaps will be much beneficial to India, as well as jointly between India and France, and solidify the relationship even further. So I think during bilaterals, this could be one of the agenda. Coming on to the American part of it, Prime Minister is now facing a different kind of President Trump, who has gone through first term and is reasonably confident and looking for major concessions. So far, whatever announcements he made, if I have to summarize his strategy, by and large what he is doing is maximum pressure strategy. Start off with the maximum pressure, pick up or give out certain things before the meetings to the other side in a manner which seem to be quite impractical and things like that. And thereafter start bargaining and come down to the practical limits and settle down for whatever best he can. Now, I think India is quite sensitive to what he is doing, and we can see the signatures in a manner that when we are talking of tariff at the equal footing, we have also given them some concessions in the budget as well. So signals are going. As far as the immigration is concerned, we are absolutely okay with accepting our immigrants, The only thing is they should travel with dignity, which has been appropriately conveyed and has also been emphasized earlier. In addition to that, what I am looking at is that when we're looking at people-to-people ties, we have about 54 million NRIs, 3 lakh 50,000 students, and this visa issue and whatever the new policies can impact them, and I think it could be a matter of discussion. There are also certain serious issues. We are the G engine, that is F5404, that is getting delayed, and it has actually derailed the entire process of our Tejas manufacturing. Now that needs to be resolved with them. Others have, I think it's all over 2 years now that G is not playing up to the requirement which we had projected and for which we had signed. Now, because of this visit, I think GA has made an announcement that they will start giving it from next month onwards. So there is some kind of give and take happening both sides as far as these deals are concerned. We also have certain other deals which are stuck, not actually materializing with the pace which we would like to. That is the induction of Reaper Mark II, and that is 31 of them which we have already subscribed for. And other in ICET also certain progress needs to be made. We need to be on the same page as far as AI is concerned, space is concerned, biotech is concerned, and Indo-Pacific strategy has already been talked of. When it comes to counter-terrorism, we will certainly like President Trump to have a better look at these Pakistani elements like Pannu, and also the extradition of Rana, which is stuck for quite some time. So when we are looking at the counter-terrorism, I think he could be a little more active on this issue. And of course, issues which are surrounding India, that at this stage, I don't know whether he'll be that keen or otherwise. But I think the plate is full. There are a whole lot of things which need to be discussed. And I think even if if we make a headway with this, with these kinds of perhaps achievements, I think that should be good enough.
Rabinder Sachdev, let me quickly draw you in here. What all will be on the table from the Indian side, while of course Prime Minister Modi is in France? Also, this much awaited meeting with, the US President, what do you believe will be discussed? What could possibly be left out on this first meeting?
Thank you so much. As other eminent colleagues did, I'll also split it to three: the AI summit, France, and the USA. The AI summit, absolutely, I mean, technology and all, and also actually mentioned the term global governance. My sense would be that that's extremely critical. If there could be some way to program a genetic DNA of compassion into the AIs of the future, I would love to see that happening, right? It's that dangerous, it could be, but yes, harvesting. So AI, great. Now, France. With France, what I find really interesting is a visit to a thermonuclear, I think it's a thorium research facility by the Prime Minister, or when he goes to Marseille near that. So what I see could be, if not a revival, I would say, but something like that, a little resurgence of the nuclear business between France and India. Remember, the deal with Areva has been stuck for like over 10 odd years, etc. So I am seeing, and worldwide also, there is some kind of little, once again, in the nuclear sector, and the lobby in America, which has traditionally been not very happy with nuclear, are also softening. So if the nuclear, world opens up more, we could see nuclear France, India, which is already signed actually, agreement moving forward. The other thing with France, which I see, France considers itself to be an Indo-Pacific power, okay, or a maritime power in the Asia Pacific, right? And it has been nudged out by, Australia, British AUKUS deal, etc. So there is definitely cooperation going on between France and India. I anticipate more of that happening on the maritime space between France and India. Now, coming to the USA, there's a plate out there. In the USA, what I'm looking out especially for is on the Ukraine war. My sense is that Prime Minister Modi has been working in the background. He's had meetings with, Putin, Zelensky, he's met twice. Why? Okay, and Putin again, etc. So Modi has done one round of consultations. He has probed the minds and, maybe the red lines. There, Trump wants something to happen quick with Ukraine. It will be to America's benefit to involve India in structuring some kind of a solution framework. So that's one thing I'm really looking at. That's one. Second, I'm thinking there could be something big happening in space. And especially with Musk around and ISRO, proven technology, low cost, etc. There's a huge synergy there. So space could see some action out there. Defense minerals mentioned, again, nuclear. With the US also now, and there is talk of small modular nuclear reactors, right? That there could be something on nuclear energy we could see maybe. I think the big thing that India wants from the US is to know that there is stability and no surprises in store for India over the next months or years as much as we can. Because when there is uncertainty, even if the markets know that trade tariffs we know are there, etc., we do not want any surprises. We will adjust with America, America will adjust with us, but it has to be, without shocks. Because if those shocks are there, then our stock markets can, go up and down, etc. And it, in business wants stability. So that's, I think, one big picture for Prime Minister Modi to see that our relationship is on that track, and whatever matters of friction are there, definitely mechanisms set up and resolved, with amicability. There could be some big LNG by India. There could be big private sector investment by some Indian company in America. See, what is Trump wanting out of this visit? Trump is wanting that, okay, you buy my big, beautiful defense weapons so I can claim jobs and money. You buy my LNG. You bring me investments. Saudi has announced 600 billion or whatever, others are, but any which way. It could be some, Indian, it has to be obviously a large one, who could, have some big vision project maybe planned out in the United States. Essentially, this is what I see in America in terms of this visit.
Okay, let me in fact quickly now go back across to Ambassador Bhashwati Mukherjee. Ambassador Mukherjee, now just speaking specifically about the United States of America, obviously Donald Trump has a transactional approach towards, of course, his foreign policy approach. Now, as far as this particular first meeting is concerned, what could possibly be left out according to you? What would certainly figure, in great detail? What's your sense?
What would figure in great detail would be our national security strategic interests, which have been brought out by my co-panelists very well, the Indo-Pacific, the relationship with China, the importance of keeping China at arm's length, the huge difficulties we are having with Bangladesh. These are issues which will be raised by us. He, I'm sure, on the other hand, would raise the issue of Middle East and Ukraine as far as foreign policy is concerned, and he would also underline his determination to send undocumented aliens, as he calls them, back to where they come from. Our response to that is very clear. We are happy to take them back, provided they are Indians, but they have to be taken back in a humane manner. In addition, I think among the issues which are high on President Trump's agenda would be that he would try to pressure us into some kind of a trade deal so as to avoid tariffs, and he would try to pressure us, as Mr. Sachdeva has just said, on defense acquisitions. There again, we would have to navigate, and I'm sure PM would do that very well, navigate very carefully, because in the past we found that some of the systems offered to us are highly expensive. It's much cheaper to get them from other countries, notably Russian. But we would have to give something both on trade and on defense acquisition, because, as you said, Uday, he is a highly transactional president, and he regards his presidential mandate like that of a deal maker. So he is a very unusual president because he is transactional and he's a deal maker. He raises the stakes very high to bring them down. So
absolutely. I'm going to have to leave it at that. We've run out of time. My thanks to our guests for joining us.